Welcome to Community Pulse. I'm Erlinda Patterson, your host, and we're here to discuss a subject that is very important, very important, with a very special lady, a very special guest, and her name is Fran J. Givens. Fran, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here today. And you are the Senior Assembly Member.
Yes,
Yes, how wonderful.
Senior Assembly Member from the California Senior Legislature.
Very good, very good. Tell me, what exactly is that title, that position? What do you do in just short, if you could tell us?
Well, as a Senior Assembly Member, we meet in session the last week of every October.
In Sacramento?
In Sacramento, we actually take over the Senate and Assembly chambers. We convene our session in the Assembly chambers with a crier. The Secretary of State comes in and swears all of the members in. And then we have the governor speak to us, and we have invited guests, honored guests that speak to us.
I see.
And then on Tuesday morning, the Lieutenant Governor hosts a breakfast in his office.
Sounds like it's a pretty busy time there.
It is very busy.
Now, do you have how many towns do you represent?
Okay, the California Senior Legislature is made up of 33 public service areas.
Okay.
And the public service areas are the Department of Aging and Adult Services.
Yes.
So there are 33 throughout the state, and San Bernardino County is Public Service Area 20.
Oh, I see.
And in that, each public service area, we're allocated so many senior senators and senior assembly members.
I see.
And in San Bernardino County, we have 4. We have 1 senior senator, who is Terry Conaway from Big River, California. And we have senior assembly member Jane Gottager, who's been there a little longer than I have, and she lives in San Bernardino. We have senior assembly member Sue Walker, who is yet to attend her first legislative session, and she's from Big Bear. And then we have yours truly, Senior Assembly Member Fran Givens, who's
for 7 years.
For 7 years.
Very good.
And
very good. Sounds like it's a very busy area for the 4 of you.
yes, it is.
It is.
It is.
I have in front of me a certificate of oath when you were first installed. Is that
Yes.
right?
Sworn in.
Sworn in is what they
We're
sworn in.
sworn in by the Secretary of
Yeah,
State.
that was in October of 2009.
Well, we are sworn in every session due to the fact that we every session sometimes have new members.
Oh, I see. I
so
see.
It's we have 120 senior senators and assembly members.
120.
Yes.
Very good. Now we have a picture here of Fran Givens at her desk in Sacramento.
Yes.
And I understand that you've had the pleasure of sitting in some other people's
Yes, I
seats.
did. One time I sat in Assembly Member Joe Baca Jr.'s seat, and then I have also been privileged to sit in Assemblywoman Amina Carter's seat.
Ah, okay.
And
so
this particular year, they assigned me to the number 1 seat, which happened to be Karen Bass.
Oh, okay.
Senior Assembly,
Okay.
or Assembly Member Karen Bass.
Okay. Okay. Now, today we're going to talk a little bit about CSL, the California Senior Legislature.
Correct.
Okay. Now, if seniors or individuals at home have questions about the Senior California Legislature, who could they call?
Well, they can always contact our Sacramento office. We have a website, which is www.for the number 4.
Number 4.
CSL.
Okay.
Now there also is a phone number, which would be 916-552-8056.
Okay.
And then they can also call me, Senior Assembly Member Fran Givens, at area code 909-823-4504.
Very good. Should they have questions about what's going on with the senior
Correct.
legislature? So tell me, what is going on exactly now?
Well, the CSL focuses on seniors.
Okay.
And we're non-profit.
Right.
We were introduced by Henry Mello in 1979, and our
Okay.
first session was in 1980.
Why is it important to have a legislature for seniors?
Because we represent strictly seniors, and we're a legislative body. We write legislative proposals. And in our session, we have committees. We have 5 committees.
Mm-hmm.
We have health. I hate to do this.
You have 5 different committees that all address different issues. That the health, you have the finance and insurance,
Yes,
the state and local government,
correct,
the housing and transportation issues,
correct,
social and community service,
correct,
and down below I see research and prepare proposals.
correct.
Okay, those are the 5 subcommittees.
Now, all of our proposals are prepared by the Legislative Council,
Uh-huh.
which also prepares the bills that the state representatives prepare.
Oh.
So in our case, we have, at the end of our session, we vote on the top 10 state proposals, the top 4 federal proposals. And they're put in a bound book.
You brought one with you.
Yes, I have.
Okay, very good.
They're put in a bound book. And in January, we do what we call walk the halls
Let me see that here.
with our legislative committee members.
Uh-huh. I
And
see.
we also take a member of the Joint Rules Committee with us.
Mm-hmm.
We are assigned specific, each legislative committee member is assigned specific senators
Mm-hmm.
and assembly members.
So would you say it's a form of lobbying?
No, it is not. We are
It's
a
not.
legislative body.
Okay,
We're a legislative body.
okay.
And
So you're just
We-
making them aware.
no, we present them with our proposal books.
Oh, I see, I see.
And then they pick them up and carry them on into law, to be chaptered
Oh.
into law.
I see.
And once they're signed by the governor, a bill is no longer a bill, it's considered chaptered.
Oh, okay. That's a very important
It is. It is.
responsibility.
Indeed.
It really is. Particularly when you have so many issues that are being addressed.
Yes, we have the veterans, we have the seniors, we have the disabled. We represent 4.5 million seniors in the state of California.
4.5 million seniors in the state of California.
Yes, indeed. And
Quite a
also,
few.
yes, and 55.3% of those seniors are over 65 years of age and disabled.
Wow.
So that's quite a big
So there
statistic.
definitely needs to be representation
Yes.
for them.
Absolutely. And I always like to cite one of my favorites, one of the most well-known is the in-home supportive services. Which
What
came out
exactly
of
is it? What is in-home supportive services?
in-home supportive services was a proposal that was written by the senior legislature
Mm-hmm.
and Senator Ruben Ayala, who recently passed,
Yes.
was wise enough to pick it up because he knew the importance of letting people age in place
Mm-hmm.
instead of and in their homes, instead of having to go to hospitals, nursing homes, and assisted living facilities. And by having in-home supportive services, the person is able to have somebody come in, they're screened, they're fingerprinted, and they come into your home and do your laundry, your cooking, they'll take you to the doctor, whatever, and they allocate on your needs how many hours you're
Right.
to have. So it's a very important bill.
Okay, yes. Not only does it give them validity of being a senior in their own environment,
Correct.
but it also is not also a fact that it also saves money because they're not in
Oh,
care homes.
absolutely. And
Wouldn't it save millions?
it
Because
saves millions of dollars by
Absolutely.
allowing people to be in their own homes.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know, we're really proud that we have people like yourself. I went to a function, it was a women's group, and I heard you speak. And you had a lot to say. And we are proud to have people like yourself that are there in the legislature trying to make a difference for us, the
Yes.
seniors. And, you know, I'm really proud to have you there.
Thank you.
And you need to be commended, as you have been, from these awards that we have here. And we want you to continue doing the fabulous work that you're doing for us seniors.
Yes, yes. I want to mention, Erlinda,
Yes.
that we have a 70% success rate.
Right.
But we have a new statistic that is from since 1987. We have had chaptered into law 171 of the California senior legislative proposals.
Wow.
They are law.
That is great. That is really good. That's a good statement to end our conversation with.
Thank
That is
you.
great. That is
Thank
great.
you.
Now, you and I will have to do another program on issues that affect our seniors. But for today, it was on legislative issues.
Yes.
And we
Yes,
gave the
and
phone number, and we will make sure it's the end of the program. It will be in the credits so that if they have questions, they can call and get an answer about the legislative issues. But this only tells me that we've just begun. And it's been a pleasure having our senior assembly member, Fran Givens. Thank you so very much.
thank you.
Well, Community Pulse, our time is up. We'll be right back. We're going to take a short, brief commercial, and we will be right back with another section of Community Pulse for you. Thank you.
A full life, measured in seats, starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are the #1 killer of children 1 through 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
Welcome back. Hi, I'm Rolinda Patterson, and this is Community Pulse again. Now we have part 2 of Community Pulse. We have 2 special guests that are here to talk about something really special, something you need to know about. With me I have John Kunkel, who is the Director of Communications. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Time for a Change Foundation. And we have Yvette Rabone.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, and you're the Civic Engagement Specialist, and I'm going to ask you what that's all about.
Yes, thank you for having me.
In just a little bit. But thank you for both for being here.
No, thank you for having us. It's a pleasure.
I've heard so many wonderful things about this group, and I want to know all about it. I want to know what is the story behind Time for a Change Foundation. Please, how did it begin? Could you?
Well, you know, it's quite an amazing story, really. Time for Change Foundation started when Kim Carter, who had been a formerly incarcerated woman, had been a victim of abuse, of homelessness, of neglect, of all these different things. And, you know, she's a person that had been in and out of the prison system several times. And she finally recovered, and she became a successful accountant at a local, business.
Oh, I see.
So when she did that, she was very successful in the corporate world, and then she one day, it was almost like she got a message from God saying that she needed to start a foundation to help women that were in a similar situation like she had been before. And from that point on, she actually dedicated herself. Her mission at that point was to save homeless women and children, and also those that were basically returning from prison at that point in time. And so she started Time for Change Foundation out of her very own garage with the help of her husband, Mark. And recently, we just actually completed 10 years as a foundation, which we were really proud of.
10 years?
10 years,
wow,
yes.
That's wonderful.
And so, throughout those 10 years, Time for Change has been making a difference in the lives of homeless women and children. We have several different programs that we provide to them, including parenting education, financial education, and money management. We provide independent living skills for our clients so that they can go out and be able to live and become self-sufficient, because that's actually one of the goals of our foundation, is to help women transition from being homeless and then being able to live on their own healthy, independent lives with their families, and so they can also be thriving. Our goals are permanent housing, thriving families, and entrepreneurship. And so through all these different programs and services, we move our clients from where they're at, and we work from a strength-based approach, and then we help them transition into a life where they're civically engaged, where they are common citizens like anyone else.
I see. Well, Kim Carter had quite a vision.
She really
Most
did. She
definitely.
really did. She's a go-getter, and she's the kind of person that when she had all the obstacles in the world that were faced against her, she still pressed on. She followed her dream. And, to me, what's admirable is that she left a life that was comfortable and a life that was secure to a life that said, okay, you know what, I have a lot of obstacles to face ahead of me, starting this off from scratch. And that really took a lot of courage.
A lot of challenges, a lot of challenges. Now, Yvette, what is your position in this?
Currently, I hold the position of Civic Engagement Specialist. I go out into the community and have anyone, whether you're homeless or not, go and advocate for things that affect you in your neighborhood directly. In San Bernardino, it would be homelessness, drug and substance abuse. Let's go to our elected officials and let them know what's bothering us and how can we change it as a community instead of dealing with it every day as if it's not going on.
I see.
And one of the things that our program does that makes it different is that aside from the fact that we have a housing program where we provide transitional living, emergency shelter, and all these other different services, because we have 3 facilities that we'll talk about in a minute, we also do leadership development, and that's where we actually train our women that are in our program to go out and step up for themselves. So we train them to become advocates. We train them to not just look at the problem and solve it, but actually go to the root of the problem. Why is there an issue of homelessness in the county of San Bernardino? What is keeping these women disenfranchised in their position? And so one of the roles that Yvette does, or that her role actually is to be a part of that whole leadership program aspect that we have at Time for Change.
So you're actually teaching other women who were in a really bad situation to actually go and advocate and lobby, per se.
Right.
For
We're more advocating than lobbying.
Right.
But these are the same individuals who were a problem to the community.
Right.
Now they're making changes for their community,
Right.
which is an outstanding accomplishment.
It's funny, we always say, instead of breaking laws, now they're making
Making
laws.
laws.
Making laws.
Yeah.
That's great. That's
Right.
great. Now, you say you have 3 facilities.
Yes, we do. We have 2 transitional living facilities which also operate at any given time as an emergency shelter. And so one of the things to highlight about these places is that they're not shelters, they're not sober living homes. These are actual beautiful homes that are inside of nice residential upscale neighborhoods. Matter of fact, one of our houses is near where several politicians in the city of San Bernardino live. That's to give you an example, an idea of the level of the types of homes that we have. We're also working on a 3rd home, which is actually an apartment complex, and this is called the Phoenix Square. And this is our permanent housing project that we have been developing and that we have actually ourselves as developers created. And this is going to serve as an option for the women that have gone through our transitional housing program and that are ready to move on and live successful, independent lives,
Right.
but inside of our permanent housing project.
And what's important about our permanent housing program is that all of the rent is affordable. It's not going to be at market. So we're not going to have them go through this 2-year transition program and say, okay, go to this home and try to survive on the income that you make. We're going to make sure that everything is still affordable to you so you can still be an asset and go out and advance and become a better person.
So how many people, how many women and families can you help at any given time?
Well, within our actual homes, we usually have about 6 women, and whatever amount they have of children can be in there, because we have 2 homes. So we have Sweet Dreams, which is our home for mothers and children. And then we have Mountain View, which is our home just specifically for single women.
Yeah.
So when we get this new housing project, we're looking forward to it because we're going to be able to have a place that is permanent for them, where they can stay and have their families, and where, you know, the children can come in and have a nurturing environment. Because that's one of the
Absolutely.
saddest things about
Right.
when the kids are homeless, is that they're out on the streets, they're not getting the proper care that they need, they're not being fed, nurtured enough. So when they come into our homes, there's an instant change from being on the street and then being in a place that is a safe environment. And we also have another thing that, which we pride ourselves on, is our children's early education center, learning center. And this is where we actually have the mothers interact with their children through our mother and child bonding program. And that's also where the mothers receive their parenting education and a number of other things. There's so many resources for the children to be able to learn to not only develop emotionally, but also, cognitively in a lot of other areas. We have computers, we have board games, we have tables, we have coloring, everything that you could possibly dream of that a child at that age would need. And then we typically serve children within the ages of, from infants up to 5 years old. That Children's Learning Center is, truly a place that you would want your own child to be in.
So how long a period of time do you give them to stay in these facilities? Say I was a woman that was in that state of mind and needed some assistance and had a child and came to you. How long of a period of time do I have before I'm a success? Or
Well, one of the important things about our program is that when the women come into it, they have to be willing to want to change the course of their lives.
Okay.
For some people, that could take a little longer than others, and then for other people, it can be, maybe a few months. It really depends on everyone's situation is different. We have women that are from a new phase of homelessness where they were working a full-time job, they lost their employment, and then they had to pay the bills for their home, for their children. And so these women became homeless because of the state of the economy. So when they come into our shelters, we try to work with them wherever they're at and try to meet their needs so that whenever they are ready to move on to become healthy, independent, successful, and also civically engaged, that's when we realize, okay, this person is ready to transition back into society. So we try to work with them as long as they need to. Now, typically our program is for 2 years at the most.
I see.
Typically. However, we try to focus on not the time, but rather on the progress that the person is making in that specific individual, making sure that all their needs are being met.
Absolutely.
And we have a case manager in
Oh,
place
that's
as
what I was
well,
gonna ask you.
who they meet once a week, and they all have itineraries or a plan, a path that they have to take, and we have vehicles for them. We have bus passes. We provide them with interviewing clothes. We also work with CPS to get their children back. So we're holding their hand through this entire process.
Right.
Once the process is over, they are self-sufficient and they are living
And it's all
better,
free of
healthy
charge
lives.
too. That's one of the things too, is that we don't charge our clients to receive these services, but rather they're coming in and they're, and that's one of the things too we always want to clarify, is that we don't necessarily give these women a handout. We give them a hand up. And what we mean by that is that we don't just give them things and they are sucking resources from us. To the
Right.
contrary, they are using those resources to better their own lives, to better their families, so that they can go out and later become productive citizens of society.
I see. So that's wonderful because you're not just giving them, what is it,
A handout.
Right.
Yeah,
You're
we're
not
giving
just
them a
giving
hand
them
up.
a handout.
We're
you're
giving them the
a hand.
tools.
You're giving them the tools so that they can survive in society.
Absolutely.
And not only are we giving them the tools, we're showing them what to do, which is each piece they have been
Right,
given.
and
in
not
order to
only
be
that, but
successful.
they become advocates for other people as well.
Right.
One of the most difficult challenges that these women face and their families face when they are trying to re-enter back society, whether they were homeless or whatever other situation they may have been in, is finding employment. And so when you're in a difficult economy where you're not able to find employment, you can't get housing for yourself and your family, what do? Well, Time for
Right.
Change, what we do is we actually work with them on employment readiness. So we prepare them for the labor, for the job field. We also look at the different skill sets that they may have. So let's say if you're a good cook or you're a good baker, you might be able to start your own business. And so we work with them on identifying different skill sets that
That's
they
wonderful.
may have that they could potentially use for their own business.
So you look inside the person to see what their capabilities are.
Right.
That's
Everyone's
great.
treated as an individual. It's not a
Right.
big blanket
And you know,
case.
I've only been
Yeah.
there for about a year, but to me it's just amazing to see that these people, these women that are typically cast aside by society and they're basically deemed worthless. We as Time for Change are visionaries and we see the potential that these women can have and what they can achieve. And I tell you, I've only been there for about a year, but I see people that come in every day that I don't recognize and ask them who they are, and they said, oh, I used to be part of Time for Change. I actually went through your program, and now I'm a volunteer today. And these are people that have gone
that's
through our
wonderful.
program within the last 10
Successful
years.
graduates.
That's wonderful.
And that's always a very encouraging thing to see from a foundation that is
Now,
doing
I know
work.
you do statistics. Tell me approximately, just a guesstimate, how many women have you helped?
Well, we've helped 58 families.
58
We've
families.
provided over 5,000 nights of shelter.
That's just in this year.
That's just in this
Yeah.
year.
This is in
fiscal year
1
only.
year.
This is in 1 year, yes.
Wow.
Altogether, since our inception, we've helped 583 families.
583 families. Wow. It's amazing that your group, you know, I kind of picked you up on Facebook and I said, I've got to put this out. People need to know you exist. Now, they also need to know how to help you.
Absolutely, and
So
you know,
let's give them some numbers here.
definitely.
Well, they could contact our office at 909-886-2994. We also have a website where you're able to make contributions, donations, and we have a wish list there for our clients.
Oh,
And
good.
that
What's a
website,
wish list?
oh, like strollers, car seats.
Oh, I see.
Different items that our homes or that our children may need that are crucial for them to succeed.
Business attire,
I see.
things of that sort.
Clothing and whatnot. But I just want to emphasize, you know, that we are in a tough economy right now, and that our donations have gone down substantially because of the fact that people are struggling. There's been cuts
Sure.
in government. And so I think a lot of people sometimes understand that, or they get the idea that you need to have $1,000 to help a foundation, that you need a lot of money. But the truth is, every dollar counts. You know, whether it's
It adds up.
whether it's $5, $10, $15, $20, any little small contribution makes a major difference, and that helps
Right.
to go and support our homes, helps to go support our children's learning center, helps to support the daily operation costs of running an organization like this, since we do it for free.
Okay.
And
well,
our website is timeforchangefoundation.org.
Okay.
And it's time for, FOR spelled out, Change Foundation.
And if not, they can also do what you did, which is very clever, and go on Facebook and type in for Time for Change, and you'll find it as well.
Right. Well, you know, I'm really impressed with your group, Time for Change Foundation. Continue doing your work. You're doing an amazing job.
Thank you.
500
thank
and
you.
some odd families that you've helped.
Yeah,
That's
it's
a
miracle.
lot
Yeah.
of folks.
It is a lot of people, and we hope that in the next 10 years to come, we can continue helping triple that amount, or maybe even quadruple that amount.
We're going to.
Our vision is to extend our services that we do to different areas of Southern California and possibly United States.
That's right. That's right. Well, listen, it was really good to be with you here today. Our time is up.
Okay.
That's
That was a
Believe it or
unfortunate.
not.
pleasure.
And I want you, Yvette, to please give us that number again.
The number to our office is 909-886-2994.
Okay, very good. John, thank you.
Thank you. I
Thank you
appreciate
very
it.
much.
Thank you for
Now,
having us.
remember, if you want to make a contribution, they are ready to receive it. A dollar will make a big difference. So whatever it is you want to contribute, you can do that. And please, your number again?
909-886-2994.
Very good, very good. So I'm Erlinda Patterson, and this has been Community Pulse. Until next time, we'll see ya. Thank you.
you.